Tonight, could the attacks in Sri Lanka have been prevented? More explosions and more questions. Did the bombers have outside help, and did the government miss a key warning?
Water goes its own way. You can't control where it's going to go.
Floodwaters rise in Quebec and New Brunswick, and more rain is on the way.
Doing night shift kind of works against nature, right?
And more than just exhausting, shift work can make you sick. How to battle burnout on the night shift. This is The National. They are shocked, grieving, and angry. Sri Lankans want answers tonight after a series of bomb attacks unleashed chaos and death on Easter Sunday, the holiest day of the Christian calendar. At least 290 people are now confirmed dead, and while it'll be some time before they've all been identified, the process of mourning has begun, with funerals for those whose bodies have been returned to their families. Meanwhile, Sri Lanka's security forces have now been granted sweeping powers, not used since the country's civil war ended 10 years ago. Among those powers, more latitude to arrest and interrogate suspects. Now, the attacks weren't just deadly. They were precise, carefully coordinated. Today, the government pointed the finger at a little-known Islamist group that has made threats in the past, but the blame may go beyond them. Our Paul Hunter begins our coverage with the latest on the investigation.
Shattering nerves today in Colombo, freshly found bombs detonated as authorities tried to defuse them. No one was hurt. This as police focused on those key questions: who's behind the Easter Sunday attacks and why? Security video out today shows a man with a backpack. Say church officials, it holds a bomb. Here's another sobering view. Meanwhile, the Times of India published these photos said to depict some of the suicide bombers. Yet while those images and the scale of the attack suggest it's the work of an established, well-funded terror group, neither ISIS nor Al-Qaeda has claimed responsibility.
Information about everything.
Sri Lanka now points to a small Islamic group called National Tawfiq Jamaat.
This is a local organization, but we don't know whether they have been linked to the outside.
But as investigators target that group, it's amid continued fury that some Sri Lankan authorities had been warned attacks were imminent, with intelligence naming that same Islamic group, along with word prominent churches were at risk. Those who were warned failed to act. Now, as Interpol and the FBI have joined Sri Lankan investigators, the U.S. calls this America's fight too.
We urge that any evildoers be brought to justice expeditiously, and America is prepared to support that.
My mom and her husband.
Then there's the story of Sarnia, Ontario's Leewardson Vijayabalan.
So we just said we'll wait till lunch, and that was the difference maker.
He's visiting Sri Lanka with family and had plans for brunch yesterday at the Shangri-La Hotel, one of the places hit that morning. They canceled on a whim. Now, learning Islamic extremism may have landed in a country where that kind of violence was unheard of.
It's never been about religion. This is something new, and we definitely don't know how big of a threat it is, because there's no history there.
As so many Sri Lankans now fear, perhaps not anymore. Paul Hunter, CBC News, Washington.
One of the single deadliest explosions was at St. Sebastian's Church in the city of Negombo. Today, the priest who was presiding over that Easter service at the time described what he saw.
There were children, there were women, and all close by, and all were blown off almost.
Hard to even imagine, but we are learning more about some of the victims tonight, who they were and where they were from. Popular Sri Lankan celebrity chef Shanta Mayadun was enjoying Easter breakfast with her family at Colombo's Shangri-La Hotel. This photo was posted just before the blast killed her and her daughter. A spokesperson for Danish retail billionaire Anders Holch Pavelsen confirmed that he lost 3 children in the attacks. The family was also reportedly staying at the Shangri-La. And a man from Colorado, Dieter Kowalski, had just checked into the Cinnamon Grand Hotel when he died in that explosion. Also confirmed dead are citizens of Britain, the United States, India, China, Turkey, Australia, Spain, Switzerland, the Netherlands, Japan, and Portugal. Now, you will have noticed Canada was not on that list. So far as anyone knows, no Canadians were killed or even hurt. But many in this country's Sri Lankan community are shaken. Their grief palpable tonight at 2 vigils to honor the victims.
Dear fellow Sri Lankans and dear friends, Sri Lanka has been a peaceful country throughout centuries. Sri Lankan welcome all kinds of people with compassion and love.
We had just come back from Easter Vigil service ourselves here in Scarborough, so it was devastating. I guess nowhere in the world is really, safe from this type of event, and we just have to come together and to be able to talk about what's going on and figure out ways in which we can help.
And one last note on all of this tonight. Global Affairs Canada is still warning Canadians to use extreme caution in Sri Lanka. There's always a chance there could be another attack. Okay, back in Canada. The sun was shining over much of Quebec today, but they're not in the clear just yet. It's just a break, some much needed time to prepare for more floodwater.
I'm happy to see that preventive measures have been put in place by the municipality, by public security, and by the federal army. They are all working together, as you can see.
The latest numbers give you a sense of the hardship being felt across Quebec. More than 2,900 houses flooded, more than 1,700 cut off by floodwater, more than 1,300 evacuees, and there's more rain coming. Quebec is indeed bearing the brunt, but Canada's flood zone stretches from New Brunswick all the way to eastern Ontario. So let's give you a sense of what they're up against. Simon Nakonieczny starts us off in Pierrefonds on the island of Montreal.
Hard to believe, but this house is not flooded. So far, hundreds of sandbags, 3 pumps in the yard, and 3 more inside are keeping Eric Martinez's house dry. But he didn't do it alone.
We had so much help. There's, volunteers from Facebook, people I've never met before. They're just coming here, short boots, just soaking wet, probably going home and getting sick just to help people out. It's really heartwarming.
Some of that help came from a group called West Island Flood Volunteers. It started during the record flooding 2 years ago and quickly matches helpers with those in urgent need.
When they have somewhere that they need help, they post the address or area that they need help. So we just keep on top of that and watch and go wherever they need us.
It's just one example of a marked improvement in crisis preparation this time around. Even here in Rigaud, one of the hardest hit areas in the province, you can see evidence of advanced planning. Roger Lachance says water levels are going up in his area, but he's feeling positive.
I got about another 18 inches before I hit get into the house, for the floor of the house. So, so far so good. We just got to hang on one more day.
The province now says, with the exception of a few areas, this year's flooding won't be as bad as 2017. But it will take a long time for water levels to recede. Until they do, people like Eric Martinez will keep up the battle with a little help from their friends. Simon Nakonieczny, CBC News, Pierrefonds, Quebec.
Now, if you head west from where Simon is, about an hour-and-a-half drive, that's where you'll find Gatineau, perched on the northern bank of the Ottawa River. People there are no strangers to flooding, and as Hannah Thibodeau found, some of them have had enough.
The Fauteur family knows about flooding.
My grandpa bought the house. That's what my dad told me in 1947. And when he bought the house, it was flooded, but he had a good deal. But they keep flooding all the time.
They've been battling the water for decades.
You don't want to put too much money in the house because you don't know if next spring it's going to end up like that. So you're kind of in a jail.
This strip of Gatineau along the river has seen flood after flood. 2 years ago, they reached historic levels, and people started to give up on living there.
My aunt used to live back down there. The house has been demolished. My uncle, Bobby, on St. Louis, the house is demolished 2017. My uncle Jean-Yves, his house, it's demolished too. And this is the last house of the family. And if they demolish it, that's it.
Now they're ready to start again. But it's hard to sell a house in a flood zone, so the provincial government is offering help.
We really need to have incentives to move the people when it's happening every year or almost. We'll offer a maximum of $200,000 to move to another house.
If they accept the offer, this home will become one more vacant lot in this riverside community.
Yeah, that's where there used to be a house. It's sad, but it's the reality of things.
And that's what could potentially happen?
Oh yeah, that's probably going to happen.
Hannah Thibodeau, CBC News, Gatineau, Quebec.
New Brunswick is also being worn down by water. The threat has eased in the northern part of the province, but waters continue to rise south of Fredericton, reaching towards St. John, and that has authorities worried.
The things I think about when I go to bed at night are people that are insisting on staying in their home, making a good decision, or are they taking unnecessary risks? And you can consider that to be considerations of, you know, is water getting in their home? Is their electricity going to be compromised and therefore dangerous?
The Red Cross says 78 homes have been voluntarily evacuated. Now, still in the Maritimes, the final hours of campaigning in Prince Edward Island's election have been unusually somber and quiet, canvassing political activities, much of it suspended after the sudden death of a Green Party candidate, Josh Underhay. That was on Friday. Voting in his riding has also been postponed. But the rest of the island will go to the polls tomorrow, and the results could upend decades of tradition. As Kayla Hounsell tells us, for the first time since joining Confederation, it's possible the winning party will not be the Liberals or the Conservatives.
There's some mud.
Ranald McFarlane works in one of Prince Edward Island's most important industries. He says it's time for change in Canada's smallest province.
In PEI, we haven't had a third option before, and a lot of people see the Greens as a viable option.
On the road to McFarlane's farm, the campaign signs show the pattern that has made politics predictable here. Largely, the Progressive Conservatives win 3 elections, then the Liberals win 3, and they go back and forth.
Party loyalties have been traditionally a kind of a genetic inheritance. You know, if your family were conservative, they were conservative for generations. Those ties are weakening.
It's shaping up to be a tight 3-way race that has many wondering if the island known for Anne of Green Gables will become recognized for its green government.
No Green Party in Canada has ever formed government or an official opposition. But even if the PEI Greens don't achieve either of those things in this election, those who watch politics closely here expect they'll still do better than any Green Party in Canadian history.
They seem to have channeled the frustration that people invariably have with the government that's been in power too long.
This man is getting a lot of the credit. Green Party leader Peter Bevan Baker. In his previous profession, he was known as the happy dentist, always smiling, always personable. He's also the only PEI leader to campaign with a federal counterpart. But this political science professor warns that talking about change doesn't mean people won't revert to old habits on voting day.
And so when you have 3-way splits, almost anything can happen. The problem with the polls that we have is that because Prince Edward Island is very small, the sample size is also small.
And while it's mud season on PEI, there's been no mudslinging in this campaign. No real controversy or scandal. The stakes seem to be so high that no one is willing to sacrifice even a few votes. Kayla Hounsell, CBC News, Fernwood, Prince Edward Island.
And you can watch our Election Night special on CBC News Network starting at 6 p.m. Eastern and on CBC Television and PEI starting at 6 o'clock local time. Well, a new era in politics has begun in Ukraine with the election of a new president. His name is Volodymyr Zelensky, wildly popular thanks to his years as a TV star, but no political experience to speak of. Sound familiar? And as the CBC's Chris Brown reports from Kiev tonight, many Ukrainians are not quite sure what to expect.
Volodymyr Zelensky's win is a political game changer. And at this Kiev park today, Ukrainians were talking about what the new president's first moves might be. The good thing about Zelensky is that he attracted young people, says this man. Before that, it was just the old guard, and now there's no going back.
It's a nice opportunity to change everything and maybe something in our country. I agree with this position.
But even as an astounding 73% of voters put their faith in the political rookie, his plans for Ukraine remain unclear. Zelensky's only political experience is playing Ukraine's president on television. Today, his first day in the real-life job, he made no public appearances. But at a huge pre-election debate against incumbent Petro Poroshenko, Zelensky said he'd involve the public more through referendums and break ties with Ukraine's oligarchs so more of the country's wealth is shared. A former Canadian cabinet minister who's here with a delegation of election monitors says Ukraine's democracy is already stronger from Zelensky's victory.
I think the fact that the transfer of power was done in such a civilized and proper way, to me, that's a real story.
Russia will likely be Zelensky's biggest challenge. It's fueled a separatist war in the country's east that Zelensky has vowed to end. But this Canadian-born professor who teaches here says in reality, that's up to Vladimir Putin.
The keys to peace are not in Kyiv. The keys to peace are in Moscow. Because Moscow started this war. Moscow has been feeding the war with armament, with financing.
Justin Trudeau was among the leaders to congratulate Zelensky today. Russia's Vladimir Putin did not. A spokesman for the Kremlin said, only based on Zelensky's actions will Russia know if congratulations are deserved. Chris Brown, CBC News, Kiev.
And we are watching several developing stories tonight, starting in the Philippines. At least 8 people have been killed and more than 20 injured after a 6.1 magnitude earthquake. An airport took serious damage, and at least 2 buildings were destroyed near the capital of Manila. And take a look at this. Water cascading from a penthouse swimming pool right down to the streets below. And former White House counsel Don McGahn has been subpoenaed to testify next month in front of the U.S. House Judiciary Committee. It's in connection with the panel's investigation into possible obstruction of justice by the president. The committee chairman says McGahn has direct knowledge of Trump's efforts to undermine the Mueller investigation. And ahead on the National, free tuition, universal health care, these once radical socialist ideas are becoming more and more popular in U.S. politics. But will they stick? First, though, this week, we're looking at stress in the modern workplace and how to battle burnout. Tonight, we're going to take you on the night shift.
My entire life I've been falling asleep at night, so doing night shift kind of works against nature, right?
The problem is when you're fighting that biology, when it's not your choice. That's when often there's consequence.
The consequences for your health next.
The first couple of days are hard.
I get 4 to 6 hours of sleep. It's lucky if you get 5.
I drink coffee.
Yeah, you and me both. Canadians are working harder and longer than ever, and maybe that's especially true as the traditional Monday to Friday 9 to 5 routine becomes a thing of the past. About a third of the workforce now makes their living doing shift work, but boy, is that punishing, mentally and physically. So tonight, in our week-long series on workplace stress, we're diving into the health impact of shift work and how burning the midnight oil can burn us out, even shorten our lives. Our health reporter, Christine Birak, explains.
As many are winding down their workday, rushing to get home, millions of Canadians are just getting started. It's after midnight. Mohammed Hannity is about an hour into his shift. 6 months into the job, he likes having his independence.
How's it going, man? How's it going? Good.
And there's camaraderie. Simon Scrutton works in sales. He's squeezing a workout in after finishing up a late afternoon shift.
Hey. Nothing too exciting? No, not yet.
Lunch is at 4 a.m., dinner at 8, and Hannity forces himself to go to bed around 9 in the morning.
My entire life I've been falling asleep at night, so doing night shift kind of works against nature, right?
Yes, it does, and there can be serious consequences. 1 in 4 Canadians works outside a typical 6 a.m. to 6 p.m. day. Those who do it regularly have higher rates of obesity, type 2 diabetes, high blood pressure, and depression. They're more likely to have heart attacks and strokes, and the World Health Organization says shift work is a probable cause of cancer.
People get through it. We kind of adapt, I guess.
Genetically, some of us are hardwired to be night owls. Research shows other traits that appear to help some people cope include being young, having strong internal drive, an extroverted personality, and being male.
The problem is when you're fighting that biology, when it's not your choice. That's when often there's consequence.
Neurologist Dr. Brian Murray studies how sleep, or the lack of it, affects the brain and our health.
Like this little blip here, is this, how bad is that? Is that going to be a problem for you down the road?
Many of his patients are shift workers. A lack of daylight also throws off their body's internal clock, making them feel hungry in the middle of the night.
It's problematic, and we have to kind of find ways to kind of manage and cope.
It's now 3 in the morning.
Eventually, day becomes night, night is day, and it's all just one thing.
His health strategy? Eat light at night. Researchers recommend protein-rich foods like eggs, fish, and beans. Drink water. Small doses of caffeine can also help. And save carb-heavy meals for morning to help fall asleep.
You sleep in the daytime, you work at night type of thing? So you're still getting your sleep time?
Chef Randy Hamilton says self-discipline and routine is the key. But doctors say the night shift will likely be disrupted.
Eventually, one day, we may have, a genetic panel where we could say, you're just not cut out for shift work.
As life speeds up in our 24/7 world, shift work remains a hard day's night on the body and mind. Christine Birak, CBC News, Toronto.
And as our special series on workplace stress continues this week, we'll examine ideas on the workplace of the future, how other countries deal with burnout, and why for some, the freedom of working from home has turned into a trap.
I think it's really damaging for your mental health. It definitely was for mine. I felt very, very lonely. I was starting to get depressed.
The perils of telecommuting tomorrow on The National. But still ahead on the show tonight, the Canadian journalist playing Justin Trudeau on The Simpsons. And before that, Keith Bogue looks at what socialism means in modern America and how it's galvanizing a new generation.
There's no logical reason that in the richest country in the history of mankind, I can work 40 hours a week and not be able to put a roof over my head and eat.
The way we build a future where everyone's got a chance is we start out by investing in their education.
That's 2020 Democratic presidential candidate Elizabeth Warren out today with 2 sweeping new proposals. Wipe clean the student loan debt of millions of Americans and make tuition at all public colleges free. But this is hardly the first time we've heard an idea like this. Think back to 2016. Bernie Sanders really hit home the idea of free colleges in his White House campaign. And he didn't stop there. He also ran on universal health care, $15 an hour minimum wage. So-called democratic socialism is being baked into many 2020 presidential platforms. And just this month, voters in Chicago were poised to elect more socialists to their local government than any other city in modern American history. So that's where we sent our Keith Bogue, because the outcome of that election could be showing us what the whole country could be in for.
An historic night. Lori Lightfoot is elected mayor of Chicago.
The former federal prosecutor won in every single
victory makes her both.
When Chicago elected the first openly gay black woman as mayor a couple of weeks ago,
it was indeed a historic night.
We will grow together.
That news was just background noise here in Ward 33. Democratic socialists gathered at a local pub to watch the results from their neighborhood race trickle in and were gripped by the excitement of an entirely different moment in history.
Woo! It's been a crazy night, but it's been a crazy year as well.
Socialist Rosanna Rodriguez Sanchez is in a tight race against a Democrat for city council.
Now, I'm not gonna lie to you, this is nerve-wracking, right? Like, we are so close. It's too close to call. And no matter what happens, we are going to transform this city.
It shouldn't be close. This is a historically Democratic city. That winds of change are blowing through Chicago should surprise no one. This is where such radically socialist ideas as the 40-hour week and the 8-hour workday first took root in America 150 years ago. Today, Chicago is at the vanguard of the socialist tilt that's spreading through leftist politics in America. In the run-up to the city's elections, voters here are poised to elect more socialists to local government than any other city in modern American history.
Hey, this is a message for...
So the campaign hits the phones, hits the streets, making the final push.
Thank you so much for voting.
For 4 socialists on the ballot.
Thank you, brother. I appreciate that. We don't do backdoor deals. People want to build in our community. They got to meet with the community for the community to decide.
Right now, you've got people in the council who give away our tax dollars to corporations and mega developers. And the way we view it, we need to make sure that all the money is invested in communities and neighborhoods across the city because it's better for all of us.
We want to make a change.
They say they are for working people and against corruption and corporate power.
We're making history as we speak, right? This is unprecedented.
Of the socialist candidates, Rosanna Rodriguez Sanchez is thought to have the best chance of winning. The morning before the elections, he's out in support of rent control.
Why should our seniors suffer simply because somebody wants to raise their rent for no reason? That's not right.
Like many big cities, Chicago is going through a housing transformation as gentrified neighborhoods are made unaffordable for the people who once lived there.
People over profits! People over profits!
This is so commonplace right now.
Affordable housing is a cornerstone of this new socialism and the issue Rosanna has built her campaign around.
Why are you a socialist?
I am a socialist because I believe that working people should have access to the resources that they help create, like, for example, housing, for example, good education, health services.
Socialism, not long ago considered extreme, is now increasingly mainstream, she says.
We have a lot of socialist policies in this country that are actually keeping us afloat, like Social Security. We have public libraries, we have schools. I actually believe that people are a lot happier and more open about talking about socialism right now. I think that after Bernie Sanders ran in 2016, that word just started resonating with people.
We need to develop a political movement.
The unexpected strength of Bernie Sanders' 2016 presidential campaign was a link between the global economic meltdown a few years earlier and the rise of Congresswoman Alexandria Ocasio-Cortez a couple of years later. Several Democrats in the 2020 presidential race are also running on the issues Sanders raised.
You've got to get up and stand up and don't give up the fight.
From Kamala Harris to Beto O'Rourke.
The resolve of an entire country.
To Elizabeth Warren.
Enough is enough.
Sanders' ideas about universal health care, a $15 minimum wage, and free college tuition are now part of mainstream debate.
Thank you all for being part of a political revolution which is going to transform America.
Those issues have also helped galvanize a generation that feels the American dream will never be within reach.
Thank you for your support, and have a good afternoon.
That generation is driving support for politicians like Rosanna.
I work full-time, I work 40 hours a week, and I qualify for food stamps. There's no logical reason that in the richest country in the history of mankind, I can work 40 hours a week and not be able to put a roof over my head and eat.
It's a generation whose political awareness coincided with the 2008 recession.
We've seen what progressive capitalism looks like, and it's brought us rising inequality. It's brought us to the edge of environmental destruction.
They are distinctly more likely to favor socialism over capitalism than their predecessors.
Early voting.
That has been a consistent finding of opinion polls and demographic surveys for years.
We've got this regrouping period where more people are willing to fight for the things that working class folks need, and I find that terribly exciting.
There is this script in the packet.
Many of his generation back the DSA, the Democratic Socialists of America, and they believe whichever party defines itself as the party of Medicare will win with voters.
Medicare for America, because even though
they're working out the tactics for that strategy, exploring and testing ways to talk about health care to voters.
Do you think that your health insurance company is this benevolent company that just doesn't want to make profit and wants to lose money?
Lucy Macias is the co-chair of the Chicago DSA.
I joined in November of 2016, right after Trump got elected. I knew that it wasn't just going to be enough for me to just say, I'm anti-Trump or I'm resisting Trump. I had to actually be part of something that was organizing a response to that.
But you've got Republicans led by the president saying socialism is that thing that's happening in Venezuela right now, and we're never going to let it happen here.
Yeah, there's always going to be red baiting, right? Because they're going to be wanting to scare people about something that builds your own power. Because one of the things that I've noticed, at least talking to Chicagoans, is that when you talk about socialism, or even if you don't talk about socialism, if you let people talk about what they want things that are like socialism. They want to have democratic control of their society. They want to be able to have a say. Yeah, this definitely feels like a door-to-door canvassing.
For Lucy, a win for Democratic Socialists in Chicago could signal where things are headed nationally.
I think especially if it can happen in a place like Chicago that's been dominated by corrupt politicians for so long. I think that definitely sets the stage for our state elections that come up next year and obviously the federal elections.
People united will never be defeated.
Rosanna believes socialist ideas have broad popular support, but another reason she's confident a Democratic Socialist can win in Chicago is that it's already being done.
Housing is a human right.
Her friend, Carlos Ramirez Rosa, was first elected to city council when he was just 26 years old and then re-elected this year.
The people have come out by the tens of thousands, and overwhelmingly they have said, it's time to lift the ban on rent control so we can take action to address displacement in our communities.
Now with his own city council seat, Carlos has to work with the Democratic majority, which is not as difficult as you might think.
Are you a registered Democrat?
I am, of course. So I'm actually the Democratic committeeman.
And in a sense, social Democrats are the true Democrats, he says.
We're being the real Democrats. That's how I like to view it. You know, as Democratic Socialists, we're being truer to the history of the party, to Franklin Delano Roosevelt, to Lyndon Baines Johnson, to the efforts that the Democratic Party has made to systematically address poverty and end it in the United States.
The President of the United States!
There's no better confirmation of the rising tide of democratic socialism than in the histrionic reaction against it.
Tonight, we renew our resolve that America will never be a socialist country.
Trump warned that socialism would inevitably lead to coercion, domination, and brutality. But of course, America is not going to be a socialist country like Venezuela. But it isn't the America that it used to be either. Ideology takes a back seat to the only thing that really matters on election night: who has the votes. The race in Ward 33 is tighter than anyone expected.
We are probably not going to know the results for a few days. That's how close it is, right? And it's hard. But we are so strong.
Rosanna leads by a handful of votes, but mail-in ballots still have to be counted, and that will take a couple of weeks.
Whatever happens, we have several socialists that made it into city council.
That's true, but even without Rosanna's ward, Democratic Socialists now have 5 seats on Chicago City Council, the biggest socialist victory in modern American history.
And we are not going anywhere!
Keith Bogue, CBC News, Chicago.
And up next, Elizabeth May's Earth Day Wedding Day. We'll take you inside today's ceremony. Plus,
we look forward to a conducive relationship and in getting the balance between the economy and the environment right.
the Canadian journalist lending his voice to play Justin Trudeau ahead on the National.
We are all saving lives. So when the services are taken away, I expect you will see deaths.
A stark warning from the city of Toronto after the provincial government announced it's cutting the number of overdose prevention sites. It is a blow to public health officials trying to battle the opioid crisis, and it hits very close to home for those who depend on these overdose prevention sites. There's one in Toronto's Moss Park that we spent time at last year, and so we decided to check in once again on a National Day of Action.
We have saved thousands of lives, but we could save thousands more. And so we demand of you to change the cuts, and you are no health minister.
Our kids, our loved ones are not bloody statistics. Shame! Shame!
People on the other end, on the decision-making side, they don't see the day-to-day of what people go through. They don't understand.
I always thought I was going to be, a doctor. I really did. I always thought that it was going to be a lot different for me. Yeah, I don't want to die in there.
I stole, I robbed, I did everything I needed to do to get my drugs. I feel horrible for it now, and I'm just trying to pay society back for my mistakes.
Essentially, what we do here is we watch people inject drugs all day long. And there's times that, of course, we would need to respond to overdoses. We happen to respond to an awful lot of overdoses here.
Overdoses have increased. We've been experiencing more complex overdoses, more atypical overdoses, and the numbers are just rising.
Today is a rally and a march. It's a funeral procession to different locations, making demands on the provincial and federal governments. We need to stop having to fight. We really need to stop having to fight. Yeah. It's fucked up.
We're just going to keep dying until somebody does something about it. Sucks. Feeling a lot better, actually. And it's getting better. I'm going down, tapering off. I chose methadone just because it's a gradual process. It takes away the majority of the pain and the things that you feel withdrawing.
People are going to get hurt. And if not die if they keep closing these places down. So hopefully today we can change some people's minds. I still have a job, I maintain it. I'm good at it, It's what I've wanted my whole life is to help people, And I didn't really realize that until I got into harm reduction. As mom told me she was proud of me for the first time in my life, and it made me feel pretty damn good, because I was such a disappointment when I was a kid, and I still do drugs, still put it through hell, but at least, I'm honest about it, and I don't hide it from my family anymore.
How are you doing?
I'm okay.
I'm so proud of Dave. So proud of him. And he's a person who has carried so much shame and guilt his whole life. And I can see him shedding that now as he's helping other people.
I'm getting sad.
They have rented refrigerator trucks in BC to cool bodies to store because the morgue is full. It's shameful. Drug users have rights, drug users have lives, and drug users are here amongst us. And we're here organizing and fighting for people's lives because this is about survival.
So many familiar faces here, and names and images of people that we've already lost. And then seeing some faces in the crowd that I've brought back to life. It sounds a bit dramatic, but
So now we will die. I invite you to die on the floor in any which way that you feel represents the people that you've lost, and to paint the gruesome reality that this is what will continue to happen should this continue.
well, ideally it'll end with people being treated like humans, people being supported in ways that are helpful for them. It has to be about lives. It is really emotional. Yeah.
For now, the Moss Park site will stay open. According to Canada's Public Health Agency, in the first 9 months of last year, more than 3,200 Canadians died of an opioid overdose. That's more than 10 people a day. Okay, up next, a Canadian journalist finally gets to share a secret he's been keeping since last year.
I get an email and it says, "Hello, Mr. Meyer, my name is so-and-so and I'm the casting producer of The Simpsons."
We'll tell you how he landed a gig playing the Prime Minister next in tonight's Moment, but first. In case you missed it, Elizabeth May is an April bride.
The feeling in that church was just so hopeful and inspirational and wonderful.
Perhaps it's no coincidence the leader of the federal Green Party chose to tie the knot on Earth Day. An honor guard of inflatable orcas greeted the couple on the church steps. The groom, John Kidder, a retired technology entrepreneur who now runs a BC farm. May's dress inspired by a spring garden.
She was clear about what she wanted and easy to please. So, perfect customer.
Befitting May's green policies, the entire celebration was billed as eco-friendly. Her flowers were either left over from Easter services or came from friends' gardens. Dinner was to be a potluck, and a fleet of electric vehicles was standing by to spirit everyone to the reception.
Congratulations, Elizabeth.
Thank you
Keep
so
up the
much.
good work.
Thank you. Yeah.
Well, this guy should look familiar to Canadians. Prime Minister Justin Trudeau is getting the Simpsons treatment on next week's episode. When he does, though, you will not be hearing Trudeau's actual voice. He turned down the opportunity to be on the show. So instead, the producers tapped a Toronto journalist who caught their eye with his impressions on YouTube, and today he finally got to share the news. That is tonight's Moment.
It's like the eyebrow a little bit, when he's answering questions, and that, that look that he gets on his face, and the, when he gets like a little bit upset, the arms go up.
I get an email and it says, "Hello, Mr. Meyer, my name is so-and-so and I'm the casting producer of The Simpsons." And there's a bit with the Prime Minister, and we happened to come across your impressions videos. We were very impressed.
We always have a...
And would you be interested in a phone audition?
And we understand that we followed all the proper rules.
Mr. Prime Minister, how do you feel about the recent Alberta election?
We obviously respect the outcome of the election and congratulate Premier-elect Jason Kenney.
Not bad, not bad. So, although he says he has performance in his blood, his dad's a theater director, his mom's a ballerina. He says he has no interest in becoming a star of any kind. He just really likes doing impressions. But if there was even the slightest possibility of any ego entering the picture, know this: he did not get to fly to LA or do anything fancy for the lines. He really just read the lines here in Toronto, and sent them in. Showbiz, not that glamorous all the time. That's The National for this April 22nd. Have a good night.